Well, hi everybody. uh, Pretty good day, huh? A really good day, in fact. Looking back through today was just like the vision that I had when I listened to Letitia James the night Trump got elected. It was him kicking himself in the ass, all like crazy, because realizing that the worst thing he ever did was run for president for him and his family and everything else. But anyway, I can't say I'm not glad to see it. I'm really amazed that I'm not more psyched by this because they got him. It's just going to get worse from here. And I don't know if you guys seen a clip of him on Fox News tonight. They showed it on one of the programs I was watching. They just brought it in for a second. He looked like shit. And of course, and talk about being delusional. He said all he had to do to declassify documents was to think about it. He could just do it in his head even. So like I said, this man is, if that was any other man in the United States that had been president before that was talking about that, they'd go lock him up for his own health. They'd think that he flipped out and was absolutely effing crazy. But they're so used to him being this way that they're still, I guess, 30% of the nation telling themselves that that's the real deal. I don't. That's what happens when you quit educating the young that's growing up. That's the only thing I can think of. That's got to be what happens when you quit educating people and quit teaching civics. And I know the class I was in, which would have been graduating out of high school in 1960, that was one of the few last times that they taught civics in the senior year. Used to be a junior or senior year one, you had to take civics. And anyway, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I want to thank everybody that's watching. And if you want a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And if you email me, put your phone number in there, and I'll call you back, and we'll set up an appointment. I set up all my own appointments, and I enjoy doing that. And I also or either text me, and a lot of times I do them just through text. But I love reading cards for people, and the most wonderful thing is having them call me up and thank me. And I got a text from somebody this week telling me she was going through a very big climatic time in her life, and I told her somebody was going to come in and really lend her a helping hand, and she called me back and let me know that that had already happened and how happy she was and how right I was. So that always makes me feel good because when I get this feedback too, a lot of times on things, but almost everybody that I read for, they become a regular person. I mean, they're regular people already, but they become a regular client. So some of them, is every 3 months. Some of them is every 6 months. Some of them's 2 or 3 times a week, a couple. And so it just goes from one, but they're all, everybody seems to be repeat, which is great because that way you get to know them and I don't know, get to know them without really knowing them. I like knowing them through the cards because in that way I don't have any prior. It's really hard to read on anybody that you're like in your family or that you know really well, because no matter how hard you try to put the part of out of your mind in a way that you know about them, it still comes through, and you can still get some readings, but not as good as if you're reading for somebody you just barely, you don't know that well. So anyway, my name's Lynn. If you've never watched the channel before, and please hit thumbs up and subscribe. I could always use some more subscribers. And share if you know somebody that might be interested. But what a day, what a day. Like I said, anybody that's watched my channel, I've seen this happening the night Donald Trump got elected. I couldn't sleep, so I was up all night kind of remodeling my kitchen. And it was just like a movie in front of my eyes. Of all this everything that happened today going on, or what's been going on, but him really coming down and everything, falling apart. It's everything getting taken away from him because that's where this is headed. I don't think the Internal Revenue is going to be able to ignore this. They're not, he's had people in there on his side that hasn't pursued this, but they can't not. They have to pay attention to this now after this stuff that Letitia James came out with today. And also, I guess Alvin Bragg's already saying, oh, yeah, we didn't drop that case. We're still working on it because this is going to show how much stuff that somebody got paid off, bought off, or scared off on that. But he mentioned today, oh, no, we're still working on that. We're still pursuing that case. So we'll see. And then, when we start talking about fraud and slush funds, let's look at that inauguration fund. How many, that was millions and millions of dollars that came up missing from that. And so anyway, and then I was just cracking up about people talking about these 40 and 50-year-old kids. Well, William Barr, but I'm sure that's all we're going to hear on TV. Well, how come we have to bring the children into this? They're not children. They're old enough to be grandparents. I was a grandparent before I was 40. So that's nothing but a bunch of bull hockey. And they definitely were in it right up to their little eyeballs. So kind of be interesting to see who turns on who first. Who's going to turn on who first? Because there's 4 of them there, and any one of them would throw the other one under the bus. Especially father and daughter. They'd throw anybody under the bus if they didn't have to go. So it's going to be interesting. And then also, I heard something about Kushner. Is it Kushner Inc.? It's not Inc., but something that they were going to do some more investigations into that too. Something going on. So I can't see anybody getting out of this. I can't see him ever getting out of this. And I can't see him being able to keep it. If the Internal Revenue goes after him, they'll just start, grabbing up his property away from him for all the money he owes them. So anyway, it'd be interesting. So I don't know what to read on. There's no reason to read on Donald Trump because I've seen a picture of him on Fox News, and all you got to do is take one look at him. He already looked as old as I am, and I'm only 3 or 4 years older than him, but it looked like he aged 10 years. He looked horrible. But anyway, I guess we could, where do I go with this tonight? It's really late at night. I wasn't going to do this tonight, and then I celebrated. I'm really restricted on food because I have to keep my weight at a certain level. Had to give up salt. Can't drink any alcohol, so I thought I'd wear my champagne toast and top tonight with the champagne glasses on it. So, or maybe it's diamonds. I always thought it was champagne glasses, but when you look at it close, it looks like roses and diamonds. But anyway, nobody's heard from Ivanka lately or anything. Maybe we should read on her. So I'll read on her first. So what's going on with Ivanka? What's going on at the Kushner household tonight? And I want to thank all of you. And somebody sent me a beautiful gift, and I want to thank her for it. And you didn't have to do that, sweet lady. But I want you to know I appreciate it. It's a donation. And so anyway, I just want to thank everybody for being so kind to me. So let's see what's going on with Ivanka. You know what? I can't read on Ivanka right now. Let me read on Trump. I keep saying I don't want to go there, but let's go there. Let's go on Trump and see what's going on. I'm sure even though he's back east and I'm in California, it's getting really close to midnight. A few minutes till midnight. I bet you he's more awake than I am. I'm half asleep, like always. So this is going to be on Donald instead of Ivanka. It might come out on both of them since I mentioned her first. Oh, if he could, he'd leave the country. Look at this. That's the signifier, is the chariot. This is the influence over the signifier. He couldn't even leave the country. They wouldn't let him. Look at this. His house is burning down, and he knows it. He's also going to have some people snitching on him. I was just talking about the kids. Since I was just talking about the kids, probably Don Jr. Maybe thinking if he talks first, he can get some time off or something. Who knows? Let's see what comes up. We got a spy in the camp there. And this could also just be cutting him off from all of his money. But that's the foundation. So I'd say that's the spy in the camp. Here's Ivanka up here. She's into this up to her eyebrows, and she knows it. It's a past influence on the present. In the sky, look at this reading. We got justice. Justice in the sky. So this is just the beginning. That's what I thought. This is just the beginning. And then we got this is why Donald Trump's not sleeping tonight. He's worrying about his money being down to one gold nugget or whatever. He's worried about being stripped of his money more than anything else because he really doesn't, I feel like he really doesn't think he's going to jail. And he won't. But anyway, this is in the seventh house. He's thinking, my God, they just touched the top tip of the iceberg. Why did they find out about everything I stole and everything that's going on and where all this other money went to that I've been sucking through here from suckers? And money that he can't, he's worried about if they're going to see all of his connections with people from overseas. He's worried, kind of, he's really worried about the money, but he's kind of worried more about treason, I think. He's hoping that they make him an offer, some kind of a deal before this is over. But he may just be, I think he already tried to pay his way out of this deal with Letitia James about last week sometime. I think I heard something about it. That's why I wasn't surprised when this came up, but I was still surprised because I was beginning to think nobody was ever going to literally going after him. So yeah, he thinks that maybe he can make a deal, pay some money, whatever, get out of this. But we'll go back through it. He's afraid he might have to pay too much. And he's also blaming the Democratic Party. This is Biden. He's blaming the Biden administration for coming after him. So that's pretty, we kind of knew that without reading the cards. He'd like to leave the country, but he can't even leave the country because they'd come down on his head in a hurry. Got a spy in the camp. He's kind of thought about Ivanka because he does love her a little bit. I shouldn't say how much he loves her. That's not a nice thing to say, but he does care for her. He makes that pretty obvious. But that's probably only because she's a very beautiful lady. I wonder if he'd care for her if she was freckle-faced and fat. I shouldn't say that, but he puts a lot of emphasis on how people look. Um, Justice is right on top of him. By the time they get through with him, he'll be lucky if he's got a penny. He's worried about all the horrible stuff that they could find out. And this isn't, it's a theft card, but it's still other stuff. And all of his business dealings with overseas. He's thinking maybe he can make some kind of a deal. I don't know what it's going to be. I hope they don't hope they don't find another judge like Miss Cannon to make a deal when they make him a deal, or another person. But anyway, and he's blaming the Biden administration. So that's what's going on with the Donald. The Donald is giving him too much. That's what's going on with little Donnie. Little Donnie loser. Little Donnie loser. I've talked to so many people since he became president that thought he was such a fucking genius when it comes to money. Excuse me. That slipped out. And even down to the point of, like if you mention he filed for bankruptcy 4 times, they'll say, well, that's just what all really rich people do. That's how they make their money. So he's got people convinced it's never been in business before in their life, whatever. Anyway, it's just amazing. It's almost like the Hunger Games, especially the other night. It's the first thing I thought of when I seen a clip. I don't watch his rallies, but I seen a clip of that rally where everybody had their finger up in the air. And I thought, God, this looks just like the Hunger Games, the whole thing. It's like a staged fake movie. So, let's see if Jared's going to get sucked into this. Let's do one on Jared. And Ivanka might come out in this too. Probably should have done her next, but let's do Ivanka, and then we'll do Jared. He'll be in her reading, I'm sure. So this is for Ivanka. I was going to do her anyway. She did come out in her daddy's cards. The other kids didn't come out, unless it was that little one with the spy in the camp. Maybe that was him thinking, well, we'll just throw Eric under the bus. If he could get away with it, that's what he'd do. But he's right in the middle of this. He can't get away with it. So Ivanka. It's a weird signifier for Ivanka. Got a lot of irons in the fire. She's thought of a lot of things to do. She's been thinking about this, thinking about a way out of it for a long, long time. Maybe she's been talking for a long, long time. Maybe she talked more to the January 6th committee than they let people. There's something this is a weird card to do a personal reading on somebody, and these cards work for me, so I still think this is a bunch of other stuff going on to do with the law, to do with legal cases, to do with her. I don't know which direction it is, but she's been talking already. I'm going to say that already. Let's see what comes up on there. That's the feeling I'm getting from that card. Yeah. She was made an offer a long time ago. She's been talking. The offer card on top of that. I was wondering what that card meant. Now we know. Talking to somebody really high up. So this may be Merrick Garland even. Maybe she's been talking to the big hoo-ha. Because I don't think this is Letitia James. I think this is something more serious. Maybe it started out when they started asking her questions about where all the money went from the inauguration or something. Because she was right in the middle of that. But anyway, she's been talking to somebody in the Biden administration. Yeah, so I would say this is Merrick Garland in the Biden administration. She's been talking for a while. And she's already lost so much sleep over this, she don't know what to do because she's known this was coming. I don't know if it's because she's smarter than the voice because of women's intuition, or if you're a guy out there and you watch me all the time, I'm just kidding. And by the way, Henry, hi, if you're out there. So, not just Henry, but he's a friend of mine. I read for every once in a while, and I really enjoy talking to him. Uh, I enjoy talking to a lot of people. I'm not saying I don't enjoy talking to the rest of them, too. Yeah, she's been laying awake nights worrying about this for a while. And this could be Jared, too, because it wasn't a woman laying awake nights. So, yeah, they know they're in deep doo-doo. Because she knows the law's coming after her whole family. I feel like this is her knowing they're coming after all of them. The big law. She's feeling really foolish that she let her dad get her tied up in this. But even though she's old enough to be a grandma by the standards of people that got pregnant early, like I did the first time, um, well, she went to school. She could have went off and started. She did have her own business. She didn't have to get tangled up in any of the Trump stuff. She could have got out of there a long time ago. She had to know that sooner or later that they couldn't just keep doing this shit. She's not stupid. But maybe she's feeling pretty stupid. That's her right now. Maybe she is stupid. That's the seventh house. That's her house. What she did was very stupid. Um, she's wondering how long she's got till it's going to come out what she's been up to. She's hoping this gets hung up for a while. She's not looking forward to this, even though she's stressing out so bad over it that it's making her sick. Um, she's more worried about a woman prosecutor almost than the people she's been talking about. So maybe that's Letitia James. Or maybe, no, she wouldn't be involved in this stuff in, is it Georgia or wherever, where they're all in trouble for the fake electors and the phone calls. I don't think that's the woman that's in charge of that. Bonnie Willis. I think that might be Letitia James. And this is the 10th house. This is the outcome. We were wondering what's going on with her right now. She's just worrying if she's going to be able to hold on to enough money to keep her living in relatively luxury. You know, she's thinking about how much she can cut down. She's thinking, I better hold on to money. She's wondering where she. This is like thinking of money she's got stashed, or wondering if, when they get through if she's going to have anything left. But it's a money worry. So we'll start out. This is Ivanka. This is she's got a lot of irons in the fire because she's already been talking to one group about all the trouble they're in, and maybe another one. And I still think this has something to do with inauguration money. It's where it first started, and then it might have went into all these other things. And this is with, like, maybe Merrick Garland, because it's somebody up high in our government. She's laying awake nights not sleeping, or maybe this is her husband. I don't know if they sleep together. I don't know. I doubt that very much. But they probably got their own bedrooms. But somebody's losing a lot of sleep in her family. And this is big law coming after him, not little law. She's feeling so foolish that she let her dad got her so mixed up in this, and she let him because she felt like she did have a way out at one time and didn't take it. And she's hoping this gets delayed for a while. And she's worried about another lawsuit where she's in it even deeper, and she's worried about how much money she's going to be able to keep her hands on to raise her kids. Now, she's got other income because her husband's got a lot of money, but he got most of his the same way Trump got his. So that'd be interesting to see what happened. And I feel like he's going to jail. So, should we read on him? I'm not in no hurry, and you guys can always leave the channel if you're getting bored. Let's read on Jared, since we just read on her, and then we'll go to Don Jr. and the rest of them. So Jared Kushner. In your nylons and your dress, playing around with the Saudis. Are you going to get arrested? I guess you'd get arrested if you went to jail, or arrested if you went to jail. That might be better. I got this camera too close to me. I can't stand to look at myself. Every time I look up, I want to push it back further than I can, or to be off the table. I just set this up in a hurry tonight. So, Jared Kushner. Well, we got overseas on his mind too. Wonder if he took some of that $2 billion and put a submarine off the coast. Maybe he's just going to get the fuck out of the country. I shouldn't have said that. I'm not going to edit this too long tonight. Somebody made him an offer, or he made somebody an offer. That might have been I feel like instead of this to have anything to do with anybody in law enforcement, I have a feeling this might have been some of the secrets he was selling. Well, the foundation is that somebody in law enforcement knows a lot more about him than he thinks they do. But he's really thinking they know more. This is the influence over this. This is him that wasn't sleeping at night. That was him that wasn't sleeping at night. And he's thinking about his father-in-law. He's already in his head blaming everything on him. And his wife. This is him and his wife thinking about Ivanka. So this could draw them closer together, because this is the immediate future, unless he's got a girlfriend. And I don't think he does. He has something on the side. It may not even be a girl. That's just the feeling I have. This is for entertainment only on YouTube. But so I think that's Ivanka. Going on inside of him is just trying to stay calm. That's the hardest thing that he's doing right now, is trying to, he always looks like he takes shots to wake up or something, like he's about half zombie. But anyway, he's having trouble keeping that calmness that he always tries to, the persona he always tries to show to the public or to people around him. He knows he's going to jail. That's what's going on. He knows he's going to jail. He knows he's in deep doo-doo hot water. And he's afraid that he's going to be totally separated from all his money too, some way. And the only way that I don't know how they take all his money away from him. He's got a bunch. But of course, it's not cash flow; it's property. I guess if he got mixed up with the IRS and stuff, they could actually start taking properties away from him. But this is his biggest fear, of being totally out in the cold. That's his fear. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. He's trying to figure out how he's going to stand his ground and not give everything up on everybody else. He's wondering if he's going to be strong enough to stand his ground, to stay out of jail, because he knows he's going to jail. Look at this. It doesn't make any difference. This is the clarification over him trying to protect himself and his family or whatever. No, he can't. He's too deep in this. He's going to jail. So this is Eric Kushner, wishing he could just go on a trip overseas. He's either made somebody a deal already, or they've talked to him. Somebody in the government, not up too high, just somebody trying to get him to open up. Maybe somebody he went in to talk to. He's not sleeping at night. Can't get Donald Trump off his mind. He wish he'd never met him. He's still worrying about his family and keeping them together. Who's going to tell on who? He's hoping this gets delayed because he knows he's going to jail. He's more worried about being separated from his money. That's what he worries about, running out of money, even for good defense. I don't know why. He's got billions. Just picked up $2 billion. Should last. That's hard for me to even realize how much that money is. So, but maybe he's worried about enough money for him. I hope this microphone's working right. Sometimes people can't hear me. Put it over this way a little bit. My voice is kind of raspy tonight. So this is him wondering how long he can defend himself and his family, and this is him going to jail. So even before I read on him, I knew the jail card was going to end up in there, and it ended up in just the right place. The outcome. So we might as well do little Donnie White Nose. If they put him somewhere where he can't get to his nose candy and he starts looking back at the videos he did, he's going to be shocked how obvious it was, how cranked up he is. I keep splitting this every reading when I start splitting the cards to do it. This Wheel of Fortune comes up, and I think this is a good card for today because today the worm turned. The energy changed all over. I'm trying to do these on a cloth instead of banging them on the table. Everybody's complaining about me banging my cards on the table. Not everybody, but a few people. Maybe it's the same old one. I got people that complain that they can't hear me, and other people say that I'm so loud that I need to turn it down. So I guess it's just everybody's deal is different. I should have brought me a glass of water in here, I guess. Sounds like I'm trying to gargle. Well, because I just cheated and I just drank a 7-ounce Dr. Pepper. It was so good, a Diet Dr. Pepper. I shouldn't be doing that because it's got sodium in it. I'm not supposed to have sodium. I'm not supposed to have salt. I'm not supposed to have alcohol. And I was already on keto, so I wasn't doing sugar. Thank God for Bob, my battery-operated boyfriend, or I wouldn't have nothing to do. So, anyway, I'm celebrating tonight by reading cards. And my glasses keep coming off, going down, going up. Something's going on here. Let me try these other ones. Maybe they won't slide down like those. Maybe that'll be better. He's always got the powdered sugar on his face. You know, Kimberly Guilfoyle is going to be right in the middle of this. I'm just being told that, especially when they start doing the stuff on where the money went from the inauguration. She's in a lot of this, but she's really deep into that inauguration money. Anyway, this is on DT Jr. Well, I'm trying to get into how he's feeling tonight. He's hiring a fucking kite. He still thinks that they got this, but he's very delusional. This is delusion. He's wondering how big a fight it's going to be with all the rest of the family he's not looking forward to coming down off his high and dealing with the family. That's them all fighting among themselves. And he's most worried about his dad because he's afraid, for some reason, when you're raised with an abusive person like that, I mean, believe me, I know, I've been married to a couple of them, you're always the one in trouble when they're not happy. So his whole goal in life has been to keep his dad happy and to see if he could get him to look at him and smile or whatever. And so he's worried about everybody arguing among themselves, talking to the dad. He's not looking forward to that meeting. Look at this. Look at these cards coming out. And all when they start talking about the past and what they're going to talk about and what they're not. And none of them trust each other. Look at this. This is in the sky. Up over the spy in the camp. Up over the top. None of them trust each other. And it looked like Ivanka's been talking to somebody for a long time, so maybe that's why. This is a whole bunch of money. So this is in the near future. We might find out, they might find out where like millions and millions of dollars are stashed. Or there's been a lot of money pumped through that administration. Everybody's been sending him money. I mean, and we know he's got business and a lot of debts, but how much money can you spend, or how much money do you need even to keep his properties up? Something's going to come out about a bunch more money that's either missing or found in the near future, this week, in the next few days. And I think that's when it's going to dawn on Don Jr. that they are in trouble. Maybe he's going to sober up enough or whatever, get off his high enough to realize how much trouble they're in. At least 3 of them. Maybe it's Ivanka. Everybody's been wondering if she was the one that was doing the talking. It's somebody in the family. Look at that. This is the card around it. So somebody in the family's put a sword through the other 3's heart. So somebody definitely. And it's really weird that it comes up on his reading. I'm saying it's Ivanka. I still think it's Ivanka because it's showing a woman up there with the money. But anyway, if it's not Ivanka, it's Don Sr. I don't think he's been talking to anybody. He's too high and into partying with his girlfriend. So anyway, and it's definitely somebody in the family. Look at this. He's just hoping that his bubble don't burst too quick when he starts to come down. And he has thought about getting out of the country. This is the 10 of Pentacles. But to me, And the Rider-Waite, this is always another Chariot card. So I'm going to get a, because Justice is coming after him. That's why. Look at this. I'm going to draw one more since I got the Justice card for theft. Yeah, he ain't going to get out of this, but we knew he wasn't going to get out of it. But right now, he's still thinking, we can pull this off. He's dreading the family meeting, worried about his dad and how he's going to please him, not looking forward to when they start talking about what they've done in the past and try to figure out getting their story straight. Somebody in the family's telling on all the rest of them, and I think it's Ivanka. But anyway, here's 3 people stabbed in the heart, either way. And it's somebody in the family that's doing the talking. And he's hoping it just gets delayed. That's his biggest hope. It comes out all the stuff they've stolen. Him wanting to leave town, but not being able to because Justice is coming after him. I still think he'd like to go overseas. He's thinking about making somebody an offer, but he's too late. They already got somebody singing in that family, and I don't think it's him. I think she sings soprano. So let's do, can't forget poor Eric. I've kind of ignored him the whole time that Trump's been in office, so let's look at poor Eric. Usually the baby's the most spoiledest, but not in, I don't think that family knew anything about babies and being spoiled in the hierarchy. We got Justice on the bottom. So is he going to get justice? So this is on Eric. I can't seem to get that justice card off the bottom. I'm going to put it way up in there. Eric, what are you doing tonight? Man, I don't know. I can't, this temperance. Maybe they're all just trying to calm down. But the first one is amazing. Wanting to walk away from the bully. Trying to think straight. Temperance. We slow stuff down. Everything's going too fast for him. I don't know why, but that card keeps coming up. He thinks his answer is that maybe Dad's going to help him or something's going to pull him out of this, or maybe he's not as high as his brother, but he's almost as delusional if he thinks that they're going to get out of this. He's been worrying about this for a long time. That's just on his good days that he thinks they're going to get out of it. He's been laying awake nights worrying about this. He knows his whole world has changed as he knows it. He's got some trust funds and stuff that his mother set up for all the kids individually. And he's already thinking about that fund money because he's thinking he may end up having to live on it. That's before she died, his real mother. He is really, really worried about going to jail. Look at this. This is him in jail. This is the first jail card that came out in the seventh house going through these kids. So I would say that he's more than likely going to be in jail. Even if he tries to make an offer or they offer him, this is an offer being made here. Or either he's making an offer. But it's, anyway, he's really afraid of the Biden administration. They just didn't think, they thought they were going to get away with this, and they're getting more respect for Biden himself. Keeps coming in here instead of just not that he's doing any of this, but and the outcome for all this is usually what the Republican card is: the happy Republicans, the happy family, Wouldn't we all be surprised if he was the one that was doing all the squilling all this time and he came out on top? No, he wouldn't have the nerves to. I got to draw a clarifier over that. I'm going to cut these cards. That's the Hanged Man. Going away, going down the river. Yeah, I think he's going to jail is where he's going. They all might walk away and throw him under the bus. He doesn't really think so. He thinks maybe his dad's going to pull him out of this. He's laying awake nights worrying. He knows his world as he knows it has changed. He's glad that his mother, the one that fell down the stairs, supposedly, more than likely, set trust funds up for him. He's even thinking about that money in Gladys there, thinking he might need it. This is him in jail. This is him trying to offer somebody something or getting an offer to maybe to get out of jail. This is like Garland, Merrick Garland, and the law coming after him. And this is what he wants to happen. But when he takes a deeper look, he realizes that he's a hung man, and he's probably going down the river. So yeah, he really, and on some level, he knows he's in lots and lots of trouble. So that's the son. And it's really funny because as much as I've been wanting these guys to get caught, especially Trump, this is not, I can't even say that German word for it, but I've never been very good at that. It's really hard, even as angry as I get and as much as I want to see people get, I'm so sick of looking at Trump. I wish they put him somewhere and never let him talk in public or make a phone call. I just wish they could put him in a nut house that was just like a country club and put all of his people around him and just not let him get any influence anybody else the rest of his life, and I'd be happy. But I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I guess it's probably been an hour. I start doing this and I just go on and on and on. So I'm going to get off of here. I was going to read on some other stuff, but I can do that tomorrow or some other time. My mind just keeps going back to that inauguration money. Something's going to come out about it. That's going to be brought to the surface too with all this stuff. And that's going to be surprising, big surprising. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, if you're still here. And personal reading is lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And so just send me an email and put your phone number in there, and I'll text you and get back. And thank you for watching, and God bless you all, and I salute you. Namaste.